Hi everybody, and welcome to Hex Token Channel. Woohoo! Another live stream. Was it number 5 now? Man, it's getting every day now. It's exciting though, isn't it? It's so much going on. Hex, PulseChain, and PulseX. It's just all happening. So I love it. I love it. I live and breathe it almost. It seems like that's the way. So it's a lot of fun for sure. There's so much happening over the next few months in particular, and of course building out on the roadmap of Richard Hart in the years ahead. It's going to be pretty fun as well. So I say hello, folks in the chat. Of course, subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. And of course, you're going to join as a member of the channel. Hit the join button. Got PulseX, Hexkins, and the Richard Hart Club. So get in on that one too. We've got a couple of members already. Let me just check the audio and make sure that's up and running. Seems to be up and running. So let me just get onto that. Wait till that checks through. Just waiting for the audio to come through. Almost there. Testing, yeah. All right, so audio seems good, folks. Get into the chat. We love a live chat as well. Let's get into it. Of course, the price is looking really, really good. We've got Brownies in the house. Audio is good, says Brownie. I appreciate that. Hey, you got in early today too, Brownies. Good to see that. And let's go. Let's go. All right, so here we are, folks, at 22.5 cents, almost 22.6 cents. And of course, we did bounce off the support line, which was previous resistance. So that was pretty cool. I hope you saw, if you saw my daily vid update on all the ecosystem, you would have seen me talk about that briefly. And we're back over the 200 moving average of 21.3 cents, which keeps climbing. The average keeps climbing, so that's pretty cool. And we're coming back up towards the top of the Bollinger Bands. And of course, that's the 95. That top blue line is the top 95% of the prices. So very, very cool. And we've got the bottom 5% at the bottom here, which is down at, dare I say it, 10.6 cents. And the average here in the Bollinger Band, just under 17 cents. So pretty nice. And of course, what a nice bounce back today. The low so far was just under 19 cents. And the high so far, 2.67, which we're almost at the moment. Very, very nice. So this is the daily candle, of course, looking good. Let's go to, let's have a look at all the key metrics, and then we're going to put the structure in place and have a look at the hourlies as well. Let's go and have a look at the CCI index. That has definitely come back on a retrace, but I'm expecting that to go back up. So very cool. Still in bullish territory, 127. So very cool on that. Let's have a look at the MACD. The MACD is still looking really good, and the volumes are still looking nice as well. So everything looking sweet there. Let's have a look on the the RSI. RSI looking super good. Look at this, folks. Really, really nice as well. Look at that. Very cool. Plenty of room to move up to the top here too. We'll get away all the way to 93. We're currently in the 60s. So very, very cool. And of course, over 70 is super bullish. So plenty of room to move up there on the RSI. Let's have a look at the EFI, and EFI is certain positive territory as well, and lots of way to move up there. It could move up to 57 now, and we're currently sitting at around about 91. So got a lot of room to go up there. We could go, what's that, about 5-6x from here on that one. So nice. And let's quickly check the volume oscillator, looking super good, and of course in positive territory now. Very nice, up at around about 8.5, and of course we could get up to 45 based on previous charting there. So a long way to go. Very nice. And of course, let's look at our favorite one, DMI. The sellers did come in, of course, and the buyers did slowly retrace. But I expect this to turn back up, and that's going to be pretty cool to zigzag up here. Nice on that one. So that's the daily chart. Let's go back to the charting action. Very, very cool. Let's have a quick look at the hourly. And let's have a look at the structure first. We'll pull that in. Very cool. It's got a few people in the chat, so I'll say hello to them first. We've got Dorothy in the house. I don't think that there is, I think there's some commercial stuff there. Let's have a look here. So Dorothy, VOI, FYI. So I'm not sure what that is, but just take care out there, Dorothy. I think that might be a bit of one. I'm just going to delete that because that doesn't look quite right to me. Mike says hello. Hello, Hex Token. Good to see you, Mike, as well. Very, very cool. Hello, hello. And Hex Chief is in the house. Hey, never mix Hex Token channel update. Hey, appreciate that, Hex Chief. And Hex Chef, I should say. And Ahmed's in the house. Hello, good to see you, Ahmed. And Mike, can we look at 3D, 5D, and 3-day and 5-day and weekly chart as well? Yeah, well, I was going to do the weekly one, but we'll keep it on the daily at the moment. I might pull that up to tomorrow, Mike. I've sort of got a set program for today, but we'll definitely bring up the weekly one probably tomorrow, and I'll have a look at the other ones, but let's get on here. All right, let me get back up to here and let's go in here. So here we are. Here's what we're at the moment. So looking very good. And what was I going to do? Add the structure. Bam. There's the structure. And of course, going up really nicely. This was the weekly price prediction, of course, going up to here. Expecting we got to break the 28 cents to break the downtrend, and of course get the bull run really kicking off. And of course, we are tracking very nicely at the moment. And of course, if my date of the 27th for the sacrifice is right, then we've only got a few days left. And how many days? We've got 27th, that would be 8 days. Of course, if we go all the way to the 31st, that would be 12 days. So 8 to 12 days is my guess for the sacrifice, and means this is going to get a massive price pressure on it as well as we go up here for sure. We're going to check out the community poll. We did that on today, and of course, we're going to check those results pretty shortly. So very, very nice stuff happening here as well. So everything's looking pretty good, and a nice little rebounce off the old 19 cents, and that was our big thing. So we had the previous resistance was around about 18.5 cents, and we bounced off just under 19 cents. So very, very good positive movement there. And of course, we're getting closer and closer. Time is ticking. That was what in the title today. Time is ticking, and it definitely is ticking. So very cool on that. So let's get rid of all the structure there. Robert says, when do you think this is the snapshot? Well, that's going to be, we're going to get some time. It's later on. It's going to be a higher block. That's all we know from Richard so far. And in terms of timing, I'd say it's still a few weeks away yet, is my guess there, Robert. All right, so let's get into the hourly chart here. Let's have a look here and go for gold. All right, so here's the hourly. Man. So that's pretty cool. We're up here. We're flying high. We had two of those levels. We did see the Bollinger Bands tighten, as I said in the live stream yesterday, and I said, oh, that's probably a sign. We also had the oval. It was getting flatter. The rise was getting flatter. Only a big whale buy or something like that was going to get us out of that situation, and then we did have a retrace in there. But we retraced back to support and bounced off that, and that was the key part. So structure looks really good. So nice on that. And here's our restructure pullback. Let's go back to around about here. So we pulled back about 22%, and we hit about that 19 cent mark. Very cool. So that's not too bad after 100% move, 22% pullback, and then of course the structure is still holding up. Now we're back up, 18% if you had bought down at that 19 cent mark there. So very, very nice. And Bollinger Bands are widening, and we're heading towards the top of the Bollinger Band. So that's looking really good. So looking good on the Hex chart. Very cool. Real billionaires, boys in the house. We're back. My friend from New Zealand with the amazing horse race voice. Hey, nice one. Hex prices on the move. They are. And I meant it's good. Still for accumulation to fill my bags. Yeah, I would say so too. I'd say so. Hey, we're going to come back to the Hex price a bit later. We'll obviously just a nice little update there. We'll come back to that, see how it's progressing, but sitting really strong position at 22.5 cents. Looking good. Now, here's a look here. We're on PulseChain. At the moment, I'm not sure what I did there, but let me get out of here. Actually, I think I was playing around with some of the transactions, so let me get out of there as well. So here we are, folks, on PulseChain. PulseChain testnet 2.0 is running. It was at about 3-second blocks, been moving around. It's currently at 4-second blocks at the moment. Transactions over 50,000 at the moment. You can see the blocks just ticking away here, right, left to right, and so forth. And no transactions in these blocks. They're kind of empty, but every so often there's 2 transactions in that block. Every time so often you see some transactions. You can see the transactions down the bottom here, and of course, what's that one down the bottom there? We had some transaction success there, and you got the little transaction fee. Look at it; it's like 4 zeros, then 465 pulse, I guess is what it is. So very, very nice. It's just a fraction of a pulse there. Now it's going to be interesting. That's the only question I have. It's going to be interesting to see whether that with the pulse fee stays that low, given Polygon recently had to raise their prices, their gas prices from 1 gwei to 30 gwei to deal with some sort of bots attacks on the blockchain. So it'll be interesting to see whether that occurs on PulseChain or not. So that's probably the only issue I would say there. Something to think about. But anyway, transactions going along nicely. The block's ticking away. And of course, that's where it's at. So let's say quick. So PulseChain testnet 2.0 is running up. Testnet, sorry, is running up. So that's looking good. And let's quickly check the validators. Now, I did a couple of snapshots just before the live stream. And of course, we've moved up from, we had 3 validators to start off with when we had PulseChain Testnet 2.0 with the validators going on there. And of course, this is the big part of Testnet 2 was the validators, and also obviously the branded block scout, which we've got the PulseChain name on that. The third thing, of course, which didn't appear in the testnet with the proper file, is the distribution file, which we're expecting a CSV file. It looks like that may occur in a possible PulseChain testnet 3.0. Now, how long these testnets are going to be is another question, and that's very indeterminate at the moment. But anyway, so we started with 3 validators yesterday. We had 12, and now we're up to 15. We've got 15 here, so we've got 12 here. And of course, you can see their rewards. They're providing some up to 100%. I'm actually, I think I'm participating in this top one here as well. I think I've got 3 test pulse staked there. And of course, there's the next 3 we've got there. They've added on, that's 15 now. And of course, they've got 90%, 100% rewards. And they've only got a little bit of pulse in them at the moment. They have to apply, get that 500,000 test pulse from the team to be able to do that. So cool. Here's active stakes, of course. Staking with this one, total stake 50,000, pending stake 29.9. I got 3 test pulse there staked there just for a bit of fun as well. So nice on that. I think you have to click on the little house there, and it shows you what your reward is, from what I can tell. I haven't actually tried to collect the reward yet. Ahmed said the slap tolerance on Polygon is so high, 12%. I agree there, Ahmed. It's probably too high. And Hex is the way we buy Hex now. That's right. So we're going to look at the poll and see what people are going to be doing with that. But definitely accumulating Hex is the right strategy when you're going for the sacrifice, and with all the fundamentals in front of us. So very nice. So that, folks, that's a pretty cool wrap up there of PulseChain, testnet, and the validators. Obviously, the Uniswap is available as well. Now I've got a video on that. If you want to check out the Uniswap, you can do a few trades. Make sure you got PulseChain testnet as one of your networks to switch from your Ethereum network, say, to the PulseChain testnet, and you can practice around on the Uniswap front end and do some swaps. Maybe between ETH and Pulse on the or Hex and Pulse on the old Uniswap front end. Pretty cool. So do check that video on the channel. All right, let's have a look at the roadmap at the moment. This is the PulseChain roadmap, and of course, we're looking pretty good. Here is the airplane. The airplane came down. We were up here, came down, of course, to the price. Now it's going to go back up here because we're back up to 22.5 cents. Our plane is flying. Once we reach 28 cents, go over that, we're going to turn that into a rocket. That's what we're going to have, rocket land after that, because we're going to get over the last high, and we're going to break that downtrend once and for all with the medium-term downtrend. So it's going to be cool. Now, currently, we're on the testnet 2.0. We remember testnet 2.0 and testnet 1 were both based on fork 13,224,745. And of course, on the PulseNet, you can see that we're up to 13,484. So another 200,000 blocks or something like that from the looks of it. And of course, that testnet block was about a month and a half ago or something like that. So that's what we're using at the moment. And of course, the actual fork block is going to be much higher. So that's the case there. Hex is the way, says buy Hex for sacrifice with PLS X to hopefully get a boost. That's the idea a lot of people are doing. Some people are buying it, of course, to get the boost from PulseX and then buy Pulse with it. Scotty in New York says, love the PulseX logo. Says Scotty, yeah, so that's a draft logo, something that Hex like. We're going to look into that pretty shortly as well. So nice. So here we are here on the day. What day is it? 18, is it? Let me just double check. It's the 18th here. So here we are on the 18th on this candle here, looking good. And we've got some nice volumes picking up as well. And of course, we've got Uniswap front end is ticked. We've got that there, very cool. And PulseX, of course, we had websites come out for that. And it looks like we've got some nice branding that Richard likes. I'm not sure if that's going to be the final one or not, or the final candles. We'll find out from Richard. And of course, the bridge has been done. All the stuff's been done. Just got to see it be gradually tested on the PulseChain testnet 2.0. And of course, we then wait for the final distributions in a CSV file, and potentially that's going to be, as we said yesterday, potentially and a testnet 3.0. And yes, there will be another testnet with bounces written and AMM bot run, says Richard Hart on the 16th. So that's where we get the testnet 3.0 from. Obviously, the durations of these testnets are uncertain. So take that into account. We're expecting Hex Scale, with the Kinetics Trust Fund to start up by the end of the month, and I've got here the 25th, so we'll see how that stays on track there. And of course, that's a big buyer, non-stop buying. and of course they're going to be staking at 55555, and people are going to be able to trade in and out of that with the shares, so just buying and selling shares. So very, very cool. So Hexscale will be competing with everybody else out there, including you guys, for trying to get that sweet Hex and then get that free Hex copy on PulseChain. So that's the way to go. So currently, of course, we've got the 15th as being the PulseChain mainnet go live, but once again, this testnet 2.0, 3.0 stuff has to be clarified before we even get to there, so that may be delayed even further into late January. So we'll just watch that at the moment, but that is the earliest date, 15th of January, that I've got at the moment, and is outside their initial ranges that Richard gave us back on the 2nd of December. So very, very cool. Scotty says GM, nice one. And Nathan's PulseX. Yeah, a lot of people saying that, Nathan. You're not the first one. It is a bit of a teaser like that. Smash up those thumbs up, says Brownie. Absolutely. And D Hexkins in the house. Hey all, good to see you as well. Big shout out everybody. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. And yeah, definitely welcome to the 3 Hex Token channel members. These are the first ones. Art, of course. Asphere, who joined yesterday, and SKB, who was the first one who joined a couple of days ago. So big shout out to those 3 as well. And so that's where we're at the moment on the timeline. Very, very cool. So yeah, looking good. And of course the timeline, I've got a few stuff in the future there, but the stuff I'm not showing you is stuff that I'll be talking about in a price prediction video for 2022. So you're going to see that one soon. It's going to be pretty cool. All right, so let's jump over to the channel community. This is the community poll that we had out today. And of course, what do you plan to do? Let me just refresh this actually and see if we got more votes in there. Let's do this live. Yeah, we've got 116 votes. So we've got about 11 more votes since I updated it. What do you, this is 6 hours ago, what do you plan to do with your liquid Hex on Ethereum? So people that are holding liquid Hex, what will you do with it? We've got 116 votes, which is pretty good. And we've got hold liquid for PulseChain. Copy PHEX, it's a no-brainer, 36%. So 36% saying they're going to hold their liquid Hex to get a copy on PulseChain. At PHEX, it's 31 and 3. That's pretty good. Just over 1 and 3 actually. Sell, trade, or speculate. I feel the need for speed. And of course, that's only 1%. That kind of caught me by surprise. I did expect a few more traders out there, but I think a lot of people that are probably watching this channel and other YouTube channels in the Hex and PulseChain space are probably pretty clued up about how the tokenomics works and how the fundamentals are going to go. So nice there. And of course, Richard Hart always says, you know, don't trade, stake, you know, and defer your gratification. You'll win out. That's the way to go. Number 3 was stake short, medium, long term. Great APY, of course, and Hex. We're going to look at that briefly too later on this live stream. Plus a copy on PulseChain. Of course, if you stake, you're also going to get a copy. If you got liquid, you're going to get a copy. If you stake, you're going to get a copy. And of course, 16% of people are looking to stake their liquid Hex, they say, and then get a copy on PulseChain as well. Of course, once the PulseChain goes live with the stakes, then you're going to the T shares are going to be different. The share rate's going to be different over time because obviously it's going to be super cheap to do staking ladders on PulseChain. So you probably get a lot of retail people on there doing that. And then like the only offset there, of course, is you know, maybe a bit of arbitrage a couple of months later, or big whales buying on the Ethereum chain. So it's going to be interesting to watch both of those play out as well. Now, obviously, if you get more people staking, more T shares, then you've got more people dividing the reward pool, the inflation between them. So just take that into account too. Sacrifice some for PulseX Sacrifice, pump it, and it's 47%, folks. Amazing. And that's the biggest one. Sacrifice some for PulseX Sacrifice, pump it. 47%, so it's almost 51 and 2 people going to sacrifice the Hex for PulseX. So that's pretty insightful information. So I thought that was a pretty good results, folks, and a big shout out to everybody that filled it in as usual. D Hexkin says happy Hexmas. Yeah, definitely happy Hexmas. And Matthew Grocott says love the content, brother. Hey Matthew, no, appreciate that too. Right back at you. And Neville Carpenter says my daily video, keep up the good work, says Neville. I appreciate that, Neville. And Ahmed says, what do you think about the staker Hex on ETH? We will receive liquidity Hex on Pulse, or how will it go? So if you've got staked Hex on ETH or liquid Hex on ETH, you're going to get a copy of both of those. So if you've got a bit of both, you're going to get a copy of both of those. You're going to get identical system stake copy of that on the PulseChain. So you're basically doubling up. Now, will it be like a stock split? where the value gets halved, like if it was worth $1 on EHEX and it gets halved 50 cents on both chains, this will be decided. And then we expect if that theming did get close to that, then you would end up seeing a rise afterwards as the fundamentals take over. That's probably the way I'd look at that, Ahmed. Ryan says a PulseX sacrifice for freedom of assembly. I agree with that, Ryan. That's so true. Freedom of everything these days. We've got to fight for those freedoms, folks, because a lot of people try and take them away. That's for sure. Neville Carpenter says, every time I have had liquid hex and traded, I have lost, so I'd never have had liquid. It always gets stakes. That's a pretty nice approach at Neville, and I'm sure Richard goes along with Richard's principles as well. D Hexagon says, accumulating like a boss for PulseX. Nice one, D Hexagon, and all the best for that. Obviously, going in early, going in big means that you're going to get a better position from the looks of it, and we do probably expect the tokenomics, the gamification of the Pulse sacrifice to be similar, as Richard said. We've probably seen that similar, and of course, we want to find a bit more about the tokenomics of PulseX as well, because did I say Pulse Swap earlier? I meant PulseX if I did. So PulseX, and we'll watch that. So those are two things we're waiting for: the gamification of the sacrifice phase, and which we expect to be similar, as Richard's already indicated, and also the tokenomics of PulseX in terms of the incentive after that. Obviously, with having the sacrifice, we're going to get some sort of base valuation for the PulseX yield farming, but really no one has much of a clue unless you're going to currently value all the ETH chain pools, because they're going to be an AMM bot's going to go through, harvest them all, set up the liquidity and the SwapX pools with the LPs, and of course that's going to be fantastic to see that. It's going to be mind-blowing, folks. It really is. A lot of people are just going to have to go with it. It's a bit like being in the rapids and you get thrown in. Maybe like Lord of the Rings, you know how all the hobbits got in the little wooden barrels there, and they're going down the river. It's going to be a bit like that. And of course, they're all doing these fancy fightings, but in your case, you're going to be trying to get the best deals and make the best decisions as the rapids go down. It's a bit like that. For pretty cool. And D-Hex says, hey, what's up, everyone around the world? Hexagons and Pulsecans, Pulse. Yeah, nice one, D-Hex. I absolutely agree with that. And PulseCans, yeah, PulseX. Yeah, that's right. And D-Hex says, love the videos, my daily update. I know you will pick up more subs. Info is top notch. Hey, D-Hex, and I appreciate that. And D-Hex says, smash that like and share the stream, everyone. Yeah, definitely get out there, folks. And we're not going anywhere. We're just going to keep growing. As Richard Hart's projects grow, we're going to grow with it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Don't forget, of course, to promote your own investments because it is a huge opportunity for everybody, and it's going to be a long life program. Already over 2 years for Hex, onwards and upwards. 2022 looks amazing, both supply and demand side. So it's going to be a lot of fun riding that as well. So very cool. All right, let's just jump over that. There's the poll results. Let me just, I don't know if I can get out of this actually. Let me just get out of this page. I'm not sure what page I'll be on if I get out of there. Very cool. So let's, yeah, so this is the poll we did yesterday. It's got upvoted now. We've got 377 votes. What token are you most after out of Richard Hart's quadrifecta opportunities? And now we've got 8% for EHEX, 24% for PHEX, 54%. So that's even increased 1 percentage point from yesterday. And then it's up to Pulse on PulseChain, and then PulseX on PulseChain, 14%. So we already see 50% want to go for the sacrifice with the Hex. And then, of course, we know a lot of people want to go for Pulse on the PulseChain. So it's going to be interesting to see those two things play out. I thought that was pretty interesting insight there. How I made it, I found a loophole. I'm going to denounce my USC Cynicism, come back illegally so I can get exempt for the vax mandates. And as a bonus, I'll get 450K in healthcare. Going to use that for Hex. Yeah, that is the irony there. How I made it for sure. I get where you're going with that. Anyway, so here is the Hex calc, and this is a pretty cool calc. I don't know if you've seen this one. It has been around, of course. I'll post that in the chat there. So there we are, folks. And of course, this is here where you can do a quick run-up stake. So I think that it's probably a good idea to get some sense of the stake returns, the good APY that you can get in Hex. And of course, I'm going to do 22,500. It's about I think about 10,000, 5,000 US dollars. I think that is. And of course, we're going to do that for a 365-day period. And the current price is 22.3 on the calculator. We're going to click calculator there. The share rate's 19,782. And of course, that's going to give us the end results there. So we've got the start date, end date, and we've got the US dollar investment. This is a 5,000, assuming 5,000. Longer pays better bonus 4.5. So your effective Hex with the bonuses is 27,000, and you're going to get 1.364 T-shares, and that's pretty much what you have to know, because T-shares is the main game. The more T-shares you got, the more you payout you get. Because I always talk about the payout per hex, payouts in hex per T-share. So whatever that, if it's 5.9, you get 1.36 times 5.9 every day while the stake's in play. So it's pretty cool. Plus, obviously, penalties change around the hex payout. So this idea was that you'd get to start off with principal 22,500 for 1 year, and you ended up in getting 2,900 hex. You ended up with 25,400 hex in a year's time, and that'd give you a return in US dollars. That's 5,000, and US dollars 644 at the current price. Of course, assumes no change in price, and that would give you, pretty much a 12.8% increase in hex, and it's got 11.4% return for USD. So that's pretty amazing, and you think about it. So that's compared to a bank. A bank you might get, don't know, 0.5% to 2%. So for a year, so that's pretty amazing results. And obviously, if you change that up, and let's say that you did 5 years, 1750 days, 1750 days, 5 years, you change that around. We're getting closer. So the average stake period for hex, of course, is 5.9 years, and of course now we're jumping up to an APY of 22% now on here, so that's pretty cool. And of course, if we're going to go up to let's go 3641, the 10-year maximum share point. Let's see what that does there. That's going to get us up to the 37.8% now on the interest alone. So it doesn't include the penalties, of course, and that's pretty outstanding stuff there. So that's 10 years. So you can see how the longer pays better you accumulate. And now 22,500 is going to get 85,000 in interest rather than was it 3,000 or 2,800 for 1 year, and you're now up at 107,000 hex. And of course, your US payout's huge now with the ROI of 371 and an APY of 37%. So pretty amazing. And of course, that's kind of the max share period. And you can obviously do a 555 stake. That won't change the calculations, but we'll add more accumulated hex on there. So 445,000 hex you get on your 225. So you can see it really ramps up. And of course, you're going to get a lot more penalties on that too. It's going to be really crazy good. So with APY of 42% there as well, and a return on investment 630%, amazing. And of course, on top of that, you're going to get a lot of penalties. So I just thought I'd go through that just in case people were, not thinking about the actual returns. So 1 year was about 12%, and obviously you see 10, 15 years, you're getting up to 37 to 42%. And of course, that's powerful. That's the compound interest power. Really is pretty cool. I just thought I'd go through that quickly. D Hexkin says, anyone seen the spreadsheets for liquid loans and PulseX via Walrus and Haunted? Check it out, says D Hexin. Yeah, so I haven't checked that out yet, D Hexin, but I will for sure. And Brownie says, I'm hedging in all 4 projects, 1. That's the strategy I'm taking too, Brownies, is trying to get all 4. That's the way. So obviously, if you've got Hex already, you're going to get P-Hex automatically. And if you've already done the PulseChain sacrifice, you've already got Pulse. And of course, that leaves just PulseX. But if you haven't got the PulseChain sacrifice, you haven't got any Hex, you need to get some Hex to get it copied over for free P-Hex. And also, you might need to split your strategies or buy some Pulse if there's any possible pullback. But I think the prices, because of the AMM bot, it's going to be, the prices aren't going to be zero. They're going to be way higher than that. And of course, I actually think there's going to be quite a few people accumulating, particularly large accounts, possibly accumulating Pulse. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be quite volatile, and see where that goes as well. Obviously, I still expect us to get that sort of big move at the beginning, pull back, and then start get the rise after that. And there'll be a lot of whales and stuff buying stuff up, is my view on that. Hex is nice, and how I made it says liquid loans is the secret dark horse. Yes, the secret dark horse, but just remember, even though I think it's a powerful idea, it is not a Richard Hart project, so just take that into account. I'm pretty happy to get bags pumped with Richard Hart projects, but liquid loans does offer you some particular aspects, potentially around taxation, about leverage, stuff like that. So once again, you are reliant on the smart contracts though. Just take that into account. There have been a few doozies out there, particularly in the early days of Hex, that ended up taking people's Hex off them, and of course that is pretty painful. All right, so how I made it: mint USDL and PLSX and live off that as passive income. No need to dump Hex and PLS here, so that's part of the idea there. D Hexkin says, gone pump Pulse and fill your bags with liquid loans and PulseX, especially with APR. Yeah, so there's a couple of you out there that definitely like liquid loans, but I'm risk averse to that myself. But I will have a look at it a bit more. But certainly not something for me exactly at this stage. How I made it, loan tokens, your employees says how I made it. Yeah, nice one. And a big crying there for, or laughing or something for dehexation. So very, very cool. So that's it. Let's quickly check out on the PulseX. And of course, we've got these lovely little posters here. Best PulseChain logo. He actually meant a PulseX, not PulseChain. Explanations in the last pick. So we're going to jump to that. And of course, here's the first one. Now, I really like the design. I'm just not so sure of the colors. Just wonder whether they should still be branded colors. Maybe a combination of the purple and pink and yellow, or whatever the color is that we had for the other one. I definitely think that probably should be taken into account. Let's have a look at the next one. We've got a young lady here. I think these are the staple that basically paste these on any person. We've got the PulseX there on there. It does look pretty captivating, but then so everyone will like that shot. But here we get to the explanation. So it's a big, nice explanation here. White hexagon for the PulseX logo is bad. So that was the idea. So we've got the hex here and we've got the PulseChain here. Now I just wondered whether we had, maybe the hex over here, maybe a yellow up to purple like here, and then have these maybe red through to blue on this one here, just to keep the colors the same. I do realize that obviously the green stands out quite a bit there. Let me know in the chat what you guys think about that. A same logo with a hexagon, bad. Well, I agree with that. That doesn't look too good. So I'm pretty happy with this, and I think that looks pretty cool too. I just wondered, the only question I had was probably keeping the colors similar, and maybe having them faded like we've got for the icons there is probably the only difference I would make out of that. True Blue 75's in the house. Hey, good to see you, True Blue. Morning, super. Hey, good to see you, True Blue. Big shout out, True Blue in the house. Very cool. All right, so that there's a pretty cool. There's a nice big explanation there. You can definitely check that out. I think that not sure whether I posted that or not. Let me just check that. So I'll just post the link in the chat there. Bam. And maybe they can hit that Twitter heart win. So there's the link to there. So that was the update there, and I definitely like the fact that it doesn't have a hexagon. I think that is probably quite refreshing. It is a secondary product in some ways, even though it's going to be pretty huge with the yield farming, but it is a secondary product in some ways. So I did agree with some of the arguments in there. The only thing I would say is the colors, that I'd probably want to keep a combination of these two colors or something like that. Once again, let me know in the chat what you think. The other thing, of course, what else? Richard's been making a few tweets out there as well, just talking about Ethereum staking. Ethereum and PulseChain ETH2 still has inflation, whereas Pulse has deflation only. And of course, I think that's pretty superior. ETH2 has a broken staking model without delegation, which has already lost people around $100 million. So some Richard Pope pointing out, if you have 32 ETH and run a server farm to make money staking, so everyone gives up their keys to other people, then those people steal the money or get hacked. That's the opposite of why cryptocurrency was invented. Yeah, I think there's far too much centralization going on in a lot of the innovative products at the moment, and we definitely want to keep as many decentralized solutions as possible. I do think that we're getting too much of a frenzy of centralized platforms. We don't want to go there really, because that's the whole point. You want to get rid of that control, that power that people have over you, either ideologically or financially. ETH 2.0 will be less secure as years of battle testing got ETH 1 where it is. ETH 2.0 won't give anyone any free coins or on-ramp new users. I like that, Richard, pointing out some good trolling stuff there. Nice. And then obviously we've got some answers there to some bankers there. What else we got going? A couple other videos there. What if everyone switches from Ethereum to PulseChain.com? What if PulseX.com replaces Uniswap? Fees on ETH will be low again, right? So nice one there. I like that. So it's probably the biggest vampire attack of all time. It really is pretty amazing. PulseChain, 47 minutes ago, PulseChain.com testnet links, setting GitLab, of course, Explorer, a free testnet PLS dummies, delegate your stakes, and Uniswap. So we've looked at pretty much all of those during the live stream so far, but that is a nice cool tweet there from Richard. Might post, can I get the copy of that? Let me find the copy of that one, copy the link to tweet. So if you want to check all those are the latest links. Check that out. That's on Richard's. Very cool. And hey, we've got Hex Turbo in the house. Loving the consistency of these streams. Keep up the good work, mate. Hey, Hex Turbo, appreciate that, and I will certainly aim to. And Albert Fisher says, good morning again. Aussie in rural Thailand here. Enjoy your content, mate. Hey, nice one, Albert. I'm sure you're loving it on the beach there too. So big shout out to you over there in Thailand. Man, it's got some pretty beautiful places there. I think through the shore there, through some of the rock formations and I guess they're kind of waterways or lagoons through there. Look amazing. I haven't been there, but definitely looks amazing. Ash is in the house. Hey, Ash, good to see you. I like your red cap there on the picture. Hey, mate, good to see you, Ash, as well. Very cool. So there's lots of cool stuff happening there, folks. And Richard has been pretty prolific in the last couple of days, tweeting out, which has been really, really cool as well. So nice. All right, let's just jump back to the Hex price. And yeah, still sitting around that 22.5 cents. So looking pretty good at the moment. And yeah, liking that action. So looking very positive. And as I say, if I go back to the daily candles, we can actually, I don't know if we got the weekly. Let's do the weekly one here. I think we were asked about the week earlier. Don't have the full data on this set. That's the only problem. This one only goes back to the May. But definitely you can see that the current week looks pretty epic as well. So nice. So it's pretty strong on the weekly there as well. But I'll try and get the full chart for that for the weekly one. All right, let's go back to the daily, and we're going to add in the structure. So looking pretty strong. I mean, it's looking really good. There was my general price prediction for the weekly video. I am due to do one. I was going to try and do it today, but I'll probably end up doing it tomorrow. But that's going pretty. It's going front running my own prediction here at the moment, but heading in the general direction. But 28 cents is the magic number. We want to get that bad. We want to get the 28 cents bad, but it looks like the market wants it too at the moment. We'll certainly see how it performs over the next 24 hours when we get touch base on the daily vid tomorrow, or the live stream later in the day. But that's looking really cool. And the more stuff that Richard gives out, trips to us around the sacrifice, that's certainly going to help. Even if the PulseChain launch is, got a longer testnet period than we would expect. So the sacrifice will certainly ramp things up for that as well. DHexkin says, watch out, we are forming a doji. Yeah, that's true. And DHexkin says heading to 28.34. Yeah, I think so too. And I think that looks pretty positive. Once we're over 28, we are off to the races there. Well said, DHexkin. And Rusty VR says, great catching you live. Your video has given me a daily morning update here in the UK. Hey, Rusty VR, it's great. That's what I'm trying to do with my daily vids, just keep everything in one spot over the last sort of 24 hours, and everyone can just hit that and get a big update. If they want more, of course, there's plenty of content creators doing a lot of entertainment discussions about tokenomics and other stuff out there as well. So pretty cool. Blouse is in the house. Hey, good to see you, Blouse. Hi, you are online every day. Yeah. Well, actually doing 2 a day at the moment, so it's pretty awesome. Keep up the good work, says Blouse. Will do. I do appreciate that. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, of course. And if you want to join as a member, I've just to shout out the first 3 members, of course, which are Art, Aspire, and SKB. They're our first Hex token members, so big shout out to them. So that's open, of course. And we've got PulseKins, Hexkins, and the Richard Hart Club. So pretty cool for there. All right, so looking good here, folks, and I think that everything's just looking pretty good. What else is there much to say? Certainly better than the downtrend that we had through here. Let's have a quick look on the. I might go back to the time frame here. Remember that just for those that need a refresher on PulseChain Sacrifice, we had it all the way back here. And let me get rid of this here, and I'll get rid of the banner. Let me just get rid of the banner there so we can see that. Comments as well. Crypto by Night says prolific work, bro. I appreciate that. And Scotty says one love from Vietnam. Hey, great to see you, Scott. Good morning, Vietnam. I always remember Robin Williams on the movie there, so big shout out to you there. All right, so here is the PulseChain Sacrifice period. That was way back 15th July all the way through to the 3rd of August, 19 days. The first 5 days were a flat rate, 10,000 points for $1. And of course, now I said that's over $1,500 now, probably close to $1,600 now for 10,000 points. So it was $1. That's almost 1,600 higher now. And of course, you're probably getting about 6 pulse points per dollar now, as opposed to what you're getting 10,000. So pretty amazing for that. Yeah, so 7 pulse points per dollar, sorry, I should say. So pretty cool. And then, of course, after the first 5 days, we had, an increase of a factor of 1.05 on the rate, and that's just kept going up, as I say. And in the last 3 days, we had a flat factor of 1.75 plus. The first 16 days, we had a volume multiplier, and like I think around $10,000 worth, you got about a pulse multiplier, something like 1.1, I think it was, maybe a bit higher. And then, of course, as you go up higher, you get a higher multiplier. The highest one, of course, was the $30 million whale that sacrificed. They would have got something close to 2.5, if not 2.5. So pretty cool on that. All right, so that's that, and then of course we had the messy period, of course, all the way through, and of course that's actually going up to what's it, the 18th now. So it's still going technically, so you can still sacrifice it, but don't do it. As I said, it's like $1,600 or something like that for 10,000 points or pulse points, or about 6 points per dollar. So you don't want to do that, especially when people at the beginning got 10,000 points for $1. You certainly don't want to do that. So very, very cool. And of course, you've got a new opportunity now, Pulse Swap Sacrifice, coming up. I have it as early as the 27th, maybe definitely before the end of the year, or most likely before the end of the year, based on Richard's 4 confirmations of that. And so that's looking exciting. And that's, of course, that's giving a lot of price pressure as well, and expectation for the run up as people want to get Hex to sacrifice that. And we did see on our poll that 48% want to sacrifice some liquid Hex for PulseX sacrifice, so that's half of 118 votes there. So pretty amazing results. So pretty clear that what people are trying to do. Ash, yes, give us your Twitter handle. I haven't got Twitter yet. Going to get it, Ash, and I'll let you know when I've got that set up. D Hexkin says, hey, just wondering, wasn't one of the recent sales one of Hex 19's bags? I'm not sure, D Hexkin, about that. There was a lot of sales yesterday when that with that red candle. So there was at least 4 accounts that sold down some decent Hex yesterday. We're going to get that as we grow for sure. Pulse Opium says Moon. Yeah, absolutely Moon there, and we'll take the price back there. I'm going to get rid of all that, and we'll go back to the hourly, and that should upgrade. There we are. So it's looking good. And D-Hex says, no borders in this global Hex community. We are all as one Hexkins. Much love to all. Yeah, that's so true, D-Hex. And of course, the blockchain's a wonderful enabler for that as well. So very, very cool. Opens up a lot of opportunities for people around the world, no matter where you live, on the crypto and blockchain. So it's pretty exciting. Now, I am looking forward to, I really do want to see some insights from Kinetics around the Hex scale. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to that. Keeping it very close to their chest. So hopefully we'll get that some details out. And I think next week is possibly as early as that we'll get some details as they're looking to try and launch before the end of the year. And so that's going to be pretty cool. Now they have got they have got one of their websites up already, and people can register through there. They are doing a couple other businesses, not just the Hex investments. From the looks of it, looks like they're doing some high-end crypto management and almost some concierge stuff as well, with a big logistics mover and shaker that can get you sports tickets and all sorts of other cool things, and get you a jet flight in a couple of hours if you want a jet flight or something like that. So they really are looking at that high-end whale market in terms of managing crypto, and also getting them into Hex scale trust. So it looks pretty exciting. We're waiting for all the details about that, of course, and we may get them as soon as maybe in a week's time. So looking forward to that. And a big shout out to Kinetics and the team for all they're doing there in that space. It's very cool. That's pretty much going to be consistent buying demand for Hex moving into 2022. Just one of many big whales out there that will be, I'm expecting to be buying up a lot more Hex as well. So we talk about the Kiyosakis of the world and the billionaires around. Once you get those people in, they tell their friends, you got other billionaires start buying up positions, and before you know it, it becomes pretty awesome. So looking forward to that. We'll be talking about Hex in the dollars and not in the cents. Once you get over $1, of course, that creates a lot more credibility in the marketplace as well. And then the next, if we rise up to several dollars, maybe potentially up to $7, $10, $15 next year, then any pullback is relative to that. So very cool. Looking very bullish. Solix says, hey, hi, Suman, didn't know you had another channel. Hey, Solix, yeah, I do run a couple of channels, so you'll probably see me on a few other channels, but that's for sure. But probably, I've got probably 2 or 3 that are really close to my passions. So even though I run quite a few other, I've got a Bet Fury channel and a few other channels, but definitely as OG, Hex is one of my great passions, of course. Brownie says, DX, I can hear a song in that. Yeah, nice. And DX says, what trading platforms in Australia and New Zealand buys NASDAQ stocks for Hex scale? You could possibly get it through Sharesies or a couple like that, or any of the big institutional ones. because if they have to get the Hex Scale Trust listed on the Nasdaq, but you may be able to get it through their new trust site. I was going to post that today. I forgot about it, but I'll try and cover that tomorrow on the Hex Scale Trust page. That's not to deal with Hex Scale exactly. It's got a lot of crypto management, and they've got consultancy fees like that, stuff like that on there. So, but we will go through it briefly tomorrow. That's for sure. All right, very, very cool. All right, Ahmed says, can you share the link, please? I haven't got it up at the moment. I'll have to go and deep dive it. I just don't want to open up all my my informations on the live stream. That's probably, so I'll just try and open it up for tomorrow, Ahmed. Maybe I'll post it on. I might post it on the community tab after the live stream, and I'll just post that in, so you'll be able to see it there, Ahmed. Yeah, cool. New thing says smash the like button, guys, definitely. And D-Hex says legend, absolutely. And like that one, D-Hexkin. And very cool. So that's where we're at. Muzz says thoughts on how many PulseX per dollar. No, we just don't know. We just don't know, Muzz. We don't know any of the tokenomics or the gamification. It's too hard to guess. Any guess I made would probably be grossly wrong. So it's probably not worth saying. We are waiting for that details. All we know is that it's going to be similar to the PulseChain sacrifice. That's all we know at this stage. It potentially it will be inflationary as well. As most, PulseChain is going to be deflationary, and of course, yield farming typically tokens are inflationary, but what they do is they put deflationary measures in place to try and burn tokens and stuff like that. So we'll see what Richard comes up with. For your other channel, it says for your other channel. What's that? Oh, share the link for the other channel. Yeah, I try to keep the other channel separate, so I'll see what I can do about that, Ahmed. Neville's Cubbin says, "Come on, guys, smash the likes and share this." Yeah, absolutely. And DXkin says, "Depends on supply, bro." That's right. Well, and I imagine that Richard's all about circulating supply and scarcity, so that's what he'll probably try and do for sure. And DHexkin says, "Done." Nice one. All right, so very, very cool. Hey, I'm going to actually end the live stream a bit earlier today. I do have something I have to go and do that's quite urgent. So I'm going to probably wrap up about now, but I do thanks everybody for watching. Tomorrow I'll try and do a normal live stream. Been doing about an hour and 20 minutes. So I'm trying to get back to it tomorrow, but I have to finish this one a bit earlier. So thanks everybody for watching. We did cover all the topics. So Hex price is looking great at the moment. And of course, a lot of people are trying to accumulate for the sacrifice. So it's going to be pretty cool. D-Hex says, get your dry powder ready for PulseX once announced sacrifice. Absolutely happy. And then Blau says, peace. And D-Hex says, love your work, Aid. No problems. So I'll look forward to catching you all tomorrow. And Mike says, thank you for the stream. I stayed up till 2 a.m. to watch you. Hey, Mike, appreciate that. And hopefully you can rest peacefully now for sure. Thanks for watching. And big shout out to, let me just go back up there. I just forgot to, there we go. Thanks for the Mike says thanks for the stream. Stayed up, nice one. And then thanks Hex Token, no problem. Crypto by night, and the price of Hex went up to 263x in less than a year. So excited about everything RH in 2022. I know it's going to be mind blowing for sure. Muzz says cheers, bud. Thanks for the awesome streams. Good work, bro. Pleasure and thanks, man. Says Brownies. Thanks for watching, of course. And Ahmed says thank you so much. Hey, no problem. And everybody watching, thanks for watching. And I'll catch you guys all tomorrow. Don't forget the daily video will be out tomorrow too. Very, very cool. I just wanted to say, I think it was who was in the house there. I wanted to just say, great to see you. Oh yes, True Blue 75. Hey, good to see you as well in the chat, and do appreciate your support. Very, very cool, True Blue. All right, take care now, and a special thanks to Art, Asfar, and SKP, first 3 Hex Token channel members. Sweet as. Catch you tomorrow. Bye for now. Woohoo! All right, here.